Welcome to my views on news, another video for you. Before starting the video, we have an important correction, viewers. In the previous video today, we reported that Norwegian Immigration Department withdrew residency permits of some Eritreans, around 18 Eritreans. Their residency permits were withdrawn, and we reported that this decision was linked to recent protests by Eritreans in Norway, that anti-government opposition Eritrean diaspora group members were those whose residency permits were withdrawn. But correction, viewers, that this cancellation of residency permits of some Eritreans is not linked to recent demonstrations, and those whose permits have been cancelled are reportedly pro-Eritrean government diaspora members, refugees who celebrated establishing of Sava camp, Sava training facilities a few years ago. So a case was filed against them, and now since they have sought asylum as well, their asylum cases are being considered, and they were seen celebrating Sava establishment. That is why action was taken against them. These are pro-government Eritreans whose residency permits have been cancelled. They are being sent to refugee camps, and now their cases will be considered once again. Now, viewers, some news stories for you. Firstly, Eritrea. Eritrean embassy in London. A riot broke out in front of Eritrean embassy in London. A number of people has been arrested there. There were clashes between some groups. A large number of police officials arrived. It took 2 hours to control the situation. Police took around 2 hours. And what happened there? Details for you. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers who have been taken prisoner in the third phase of Tigray Ethiopia war arrived in Mekelle today. How many have been taken prisoner so far? We have details for you and a clip as well. And lastly, according to Sudanese news sources, an Ethiopian military officer and a number of soldiers have surrendered on Sudan side of Sudan-Ethiopia border. What happened there? We know that Sudan-Ethiopia border is an active front now. Tigray fighters tried to enter western Tigray from Sudan and from Salamati as well. They tried to enter Volkaiv. Ethiopian National Defense Force regional forces entered Sudanese soil to start an operation against Tigray fighters. What happened there? Is this surrendering of Ethiopian military officials linked to the fighting between Tigray fighters and Ethiopian government forces on Ethiopia-Sudan border? Firstly, viewers, today on Sunday, riot broke out in front of Eritrean embassy in London. The embassy is situated in North London in Islington, White Lion Street, and there a protest was planned. We have been hearing since this morning, since Sunday morning, that Tigrayans and Eritreans, they were due to protest in front of Eritrean embassy in London. The protest was definitely against Eritrean involvement in Tigray and against the policies of Eritrean government. The protest started. It was a peaceful demonstration. Then another group came there, a large group, and clashes erupted between protesters and this new group. And some protesters, they were armed with pipes and other makeshift weapons, poles and pipes, and it led to serious escalation. Nearby shops were damaged too. Traffic was disrupted. Large number of police officials was called there at the spot, and police took 2 hours to control the situation. A number of protesters has been arrested. Who were the protesters? Who attacked these protesters? Details are scarce so far. We have not been able to get the complete picture, but it seems that some Tigrayans and Eritreans were protesting there, and another group, maybe pro-Eritrean government group, then came there and clashes started. That is what we have learned. But again, I'm saying that we could not get lots of details from the ground so far. Only confirmation is that riot broke out, it led to clashes, and several dozens have been arrested from the road in front of Eritrean embassy in London. We have 2 clips for you showing the demonstration and then the clashes which erupted in front of Eritrean embassy. Watch these 2 clips. Secondly, was thousands of prisoners of war, mostly members of Ethiopian National Defense Force, have been transferred to Mekelle. They were taken prisoner mostly on Kobo front, some on Wuldia front as well. General Varade of Tigray Defense Force claimed 4 days ago that around 5,000 had been taken prisoner since the start of this new phase of war, the 24th of August, and they have been shown by Tigray-backed news sources, and now they have arrived. The POWs have arrived in Mekelle. It is being said that around 6,500 arrived in Mekelle today. So now Tigray regional government has around 16,500 ENDF prisoners of war. Around 4,000 were released by Tigray regional government a few months ago after Olusegun Obasanjo requested the release of ENDF prisoners of war. But when they were released, Ethiopian government did not acknowledge their release. Ethiopian government said that they were not ENDF soldiers, they were relatives of ENDF soldiers, and these released ENDF members were put in detention. They were put at camps in a far region of Ethiopia. We have a clip for you showing the arrival of these ENDF POWs in Mekelle. Watch this clip.
معاه
Lastly, viewers, according to some Sudanese news sources, Al Sharak newspaper, Sudan Akbar, they are claiming that an Ethiopian military commander and a number of soldiers have surrendered to Sudanese army on Sudan side of Sudan Ethiopia border. What is happening there? We know that fighting is ongoing on Sudan Ethiopia border between Tigray forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force supported by Amhara forces, Amhara militias. Tigray fighters have been organizing on Sudanese soil for months, and 48 hours ago, an international news outlet claimed that those Tigrania-speaking ENDF peacekeepers who defected last year and sought asylum in Sudan also joined the fight on Tigray-Ethiopia border, Sudan-Ethiopia border. So there was serious escalation on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Ethiopian National Defense Force and regional forces entered Sudan, and they tried to push Tigray fighters back from Humera town from Sudan-Ethiopia border. And we know that a territory on Sudan-Ethiopia border called Al-Fashaga Triangle has been disputed between Sudan and Ethiopia for years. But after the start of Tigray conflict in November 2020, Sudanese army retook Al-Fashaga. Around 95% of Al-Fashaga has been retaken by Sudanese military. Reportedly, Ethiopian National Defense Force, regional forces entered Sudan. They tried to push back Tigray fighters, and they tried to take control of Al-Fashaga as well, some sections of Al-Fashaga. Fighting happened in Al-Fashaga too. That led to the intervention from Sudanese military. Sudanese military does not want to lose its control of Al-Fashaga. The two countries came close to a war over Al-Fashaga in recent months, but then through some talks, situation came under control. Now it seems that Sudanese military is becoming involved as well on Sudan-Ethiopia border. If Sudanese soil is being used against Ethiopia by Tigray fighters, obviously Ethiopian National Defense Force will enter Sudanese territory. It will take action, and that can lead to direct confrontation between Sudanese and Ethiopian militaries. So far, Ethiopian government has not released any statement about the news that an Ethiopian commander has surrendered to Sudanese military or he has been captured by Sudanese military. But that can lead to escalation. Ethiopia would like Sudanese army to stay out of the confrontation between Ethiopian forces and Tigray fighters on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Let's see. Will Sudanese military remain neutral? Will it support Tigray fighters? If it starts openly supporting Tigray fighters, or will it lead to, can it lead to direct confrontation between Sudanese and Ethiopian militaries? Several questions, but fingers are being pointed towards Sudan, that Sudan is openly backing Tigray fighters like Eritrean government is openly supporting Ethiopian government. Thank you for watching.